Welcome, John Sunde. It's week 2 of Heffron Park. Good to see you again, John.
You too, Paul. Twice in a week.
Okay.
2 weeks in a row.
It is. Let's keep the good times rolling. And week 2, John, this is what we're going to have a bit of a chat about. We're going to talk about a UCI World Champion rider at Heffron Park again. Then one that's won a world title. We'll talk about that. We've got a video of 1 lap to go and look for your position on the bell lap. Then we're going straight to the results across the line. A few chats about a couple of key moments and especially one particular, and then wrap it up with next week's potential weather report and see you out there. Well, speaking of seeing you at Heffron Park, we saw a pro rider and a rider from the Wollongong World Championships. It was none other than Brodie Chapman, the winner of the Grand Prix Chambéry in France last year, represented Australia. Good to have pros here, John.
Yeah, well, it appears the whole Benello Chapman family getting in on the season 38 Tuesday night Heffron action. It was fantastic to have Brodie along on Tuesday night. Just shows you how keen she is to participate in local club racing, and I think she got a real buzz out of it too.
I think she loved it, or I hope she wasn't just giving us lip service saying how much fun she had. Hot gossip, though, is she's not with FDJ next year.
That's true.
Trek Segafredo.
That's right.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a pay rise as well. Next, check out this big ass. Do you know who owns that?
That is a big ass. Well, in the Southern Cross jersey, if I recall, that was from earlier this year, in last summer, around about February, March, when Tom Cornish turned up for a bit of Tuesday night action.
Yeah, and look at the size of those legs. Now, they aren't a normal crit legs. They are track legs, aren't they, John?
Look at the power in the butt.
Yeah. Okay, well, that power, those legs, guess what they did some 12 hours ago? They did this. There he is.
The 2022 track world titles in Paris.
Yep, and the team sprint of Glaetzer, Richardson, Hoffman, and Tom Cornish. If you can win at Heffron,
you can win anywhere, Crafty.
John, we've also got a bit of a video today. Just talk us, what are we going to see?
1 lap to go. And when I took this video on Tuesday night, it was really only to capture everybody's race numbers to make sure that when they came across the line, they had crossed the line on the bell lap. And it wasn't until after. So here we go, Crafty, with 1 to go. You can see Jesse Coyle doing the big effort on the front. But it's interesting to note everyone's position around about here. Tommy Bolton, second wheel, in a good spot, out of all danger. Jack Bennett just behind him.
Oh, yeah, a little bit further behind. But I think that's Kai Galtman up there with the white number.
And, you know, think about your positioning with when to go. If you're a B grade, if you can get in the mix right up the front, there's not many other. The effort that the B graders that are behind you are going to have to make to get up is massive. Hey, just stop it there, and you can see in front of the pink jersey, Kira Will. You can see Brodie Chapman there. So how well is Kira doing? C grade, still in the mix, no further than 20 back, and she's on the the female favorite for the night.
And so there's Nicolo there.
But I'm not out of the action is Nicole O, just a half a length back there, right in amongst it.
I'm going to say that Kira Will at this stage is the first C grader across the line, because that's Benny Coates there.
Benny Coates, yeah. But once again, look at the position Benny Coates has got right in amongst it. So not up the pointy end, but still in the main portion of the bunch, getting sucked along. There's big Greg Rule there in the black.
That's Hudson Rowling there, the third C grader. Okay. Right. A little bit of a gap, and then I think Rickards and a few have just done the turns. There's Edwin Brits and so forth. I think that's pretty much the action we needed to know.
Just stop there. You'll see that blue number with the black jersey, white helmet. That's Ben Dewhurst. So Ben's rolled across the line in C grade second, his first podium
I see.
And so, how well did he do to be, quite a number of lengths back with
Yeah.
Kira and Hudson Rowling and Ben Coates up the front?
Yeah, having said that, that little gap that I did spot, it looks like this is the hardest section with the tail crosswind. They're going to get back on. And the big,
They do.
yeah, and the big thing.
There's another very important feature about this video, and that's the bell ring.
Yeah, I was
This
going to
is
say that
Sturridge's
exact same
greatest
thing
goal
there.
each
Man,
week.
he's good. Look at that
He
action.
is, isn't he? Look at the wrist action.
Unbelievable. And you can hear it. Just listen. Oh, it's gold. It's gold. He's the best. Yeah. And one lap later, there's your podium, and it's a bloody good looking podium. Here's the results: Tom Bolton, Jack Bennett, Brad Mills, Alex Naz, Josh Ludlam, and our B grade results. Quite a good podium, John.
I'll tell you the interesting thing about this podium is the mixture of youth, elite riders, and I'm trying to think of a word to best describe Millsy.
Old.
No, I wasn't going to say old.
Wise.
Masters hitter. How's that? The two of the people on the podium are, well, one's only about 15. The other one's about 17. We've got Brody representing the women's pro peloton there. And, Jack and Tommy, you got to say, they are two of the most consistent performers in Sydney club racing over the last 2 or 3 years.
Easily.
I just want to give a bit of kudos to Millsy, because I know he was pretty chuffed with that result. And for a guy that's on the tools literally 5 days a week on a building site, and then to back up and still pull a result like that at close to 50, is doing pretty good.
Let's go to the finishing line. Perfect victory salute. That is, yeah, all right. Jack Bennett in the armpit. I'm looking at Ludlam in the blue. That's a cracker sprint.
Outstanding ride by Josh. That was his first Tuesday night A grade, and he acquitted himself so well. Super impressive.
Okay, here we go. We've across the line. Remember, the gaps are what we call a measurable gap. Notice the B graders. Oh, that was pretty darn close as we go through. John?
You could almost throw in a blanket over the first 2 or 3 B graders between Kai Camilo and Michael Docker.
We're going to talk.
And James Nash, he was in amongst that too.
He was. In fact, if you see the video, Camilo nearly crashes on the line. He got a big squeeze. We're talking about Nicolo in 28th and Brody Chapman. We'll do a bit of a talk about them later on, John. But again, around about 70%, no, a little lower than that, about 60% finishing, 120 riders. We ended up with far out. That's close. It's close to it. 60% finishing.
Yeah, it is. And keep in mind too, Crafty, with our new commissaire marshalling, drop riders or gap riders in that last lap just to keep it a bit safer. If you're not part of the main group on that sort of 2 to go, then I think it's race over, just to keep it safe and clean for everybody. I also wanted to point out, and just looking at those top 10, how about Jesse Coyle? Big effort on that last lap down the straight, and still enough horsepower to come in 8th.
Yeah, okay. And look, and I'm looking, and you have a look at the difference between Ben Coates, the first C grader. We've got to go way down to Benny Dewhurst, and that's a big there was a gap here between
Chris. Yes, a time gap, and then another, and there's like almost 15 places.
Now, this photo, John, what I wanted to show here, 1, it's a spectacular photo. 2, it's a long train. But where I'll get a pen, where I'm pointing right here, that is your last B grader. That's your last B grader. That's your first C grader. And this is with 2.5 laps to go. A grade caught him in the squircle, and they put the handbrake on. They put it into park. They had a a disabled sticker on the front windscreen, and they just sat right next to the shops for over a lap, John.
Yeah, but you say that, and you called that on the night in your commentary when they came down the straight on that lap, and they were just hanging off the back. But chatting to a few of the guys after the race, they were cooked. They actually admit they ran out of a bit of firepower there.
Well, it did do two things. One, it meant for the A graders that lap and a half was safe, but it also meant that they were going into the bell with some 60 riders as a group, and that last lap was pretty hectic. But it stalled again on the Pimple as well, John, when they on that last lap, and that's where Jack Bennett ended up getting swamped. Let's also move on now, and let's talk about what I think is the biggest feature of the day. And if I can get it, and it's these two riders. That's Nicole O there, and that is Brodie Chapman, John.
Fantastic effort, as you'd expect from Brodie, who is a seasoned pro, but big shout out to Nicole. Nicole was super keen to step up to B grade after winning C grade last year. My initial reaction was I thought it was better that she was racing with the other girls in C, but she persisted. She had a good point, and she certainly delivered on her promise and her ambition to perform at that level. And yeah, big shout out to her. No fluke when she won C grade and the women's comp last year, and to step up, she pushed Brodie to the line. I mean, as you can see, there's not even half a wheel on it.
Yeah, at this stage they're pretty darn close. You can see with the crack on the road, but I'm going to say that Brodie Chapman's throw, it's a damn sight better than Nicole's. Actually, look, at this point, Brodie's still out of the saddle.
Yeah.
Right. So in the saddle, in my opinion, is still a faster sprint for your average rider, but she's starting to start her throw now from out of the saddle position.
Yeah.
And that gives that's why here she's barely in front, if in front at all, and the throw really moves the whole bike. Next week, Heffron Park. Let's have a look at the weather forecast. Yes, it says it's going to rain. It's most likely going to rain, but it's only showers, 1 to 3 millimeters. Late in the afternoon, we're going to get racing in, aren't we, John?
Well, fingers crossed. The concerning part about that forecast is it says later in the day. That's a bit of a worry because, as you know, Crafty, quite a lot of hands go into making Tuesday night at Heffron happen, and everyone comes from far and wide. So we do have to make a call early in the afternoon, usually by 3 o'clock.
As always, watch the Tuesday night Heffron Park by East on Facebook. That's where all the announcements are. Also next week, John, fingers crossed, we're going to get to see Ollie Penny's video. What's going on there?
Yeah, looking forward to that. So Ollie's had camera issues. Seems everyone's got camera issues. But he hopes to have his onboard camera back in action.
Fingers crossed. In the meantime, see you next Tuesday at Heffron Park, John. Peace out.
Wouldn't be anywhere else.